So we are discussing about the core of spirituality. What is spirituality? What is the essence of spirituality? And what is the right spiritual understanding? The very word spirituality is synonymous with meditation. Yesterday we discussed about the difference between a religious person and a spiritual person. A spiritual person is always in an experiment mode. So when you are meditating, you are in the experiment mode. Be still and know thyself. Be still and know thyself. This is the great teachings of the Greek masters. In fact, of all the enlightened masters. Be still and know thyself. When you still your body and when you still your mind, you will know yourself. Unless you still yourself, unless you still your body and unless you still your mind, there is no possibility you can know yourself. The mind which is uncultivated, or the mind which is unstable, or the mind which is agitated, that is the stumbling block between you and your enlightenment, between you and your self-realization. The only block in between you and your self-realization is the uncultivated mind. So when you still your mind, then you realize yourself, you know yourself. So meditation is a process to still your mind. Yesterday we discussed about three things: no hurry, no worry, but don't waste time and energy. Three things. Today again we'll discuss another three aspects. This is the core. These three aspects are the core of your spiritual journey. Number one is everyday meditation. And number two, everyday swadhyayam. That means everyday reading books. And number three, everyday contemplation of what is nitya and what is anitya. What is temporary, what is eternal. What is truth, what is untruth. Truth is eternal. Maya is temporary. So everyday contemplation of what is nitya, what is anitya, what is the truth, and what is not the truth. So everyday meditation, everyday swadhyayam, and everyday introspection, self-reflection of what is truth and what is untruth. If you do these three things every day, then it is a perfect formula for you to achieve whatever you want. And especially to achieve your own self-realization. Self-realization is not the process of achievement. Self-realization is a process of it's a discovery. It's a realization. But these three are essential steps, my dear friends. If you are a spiritual person, that means if somebody asks you, okay, you are a spiritual person, so what does a spiritual person mean? If somebody asks you, what does a spiritual person mean? What is the definition of a spiritual person? Then you say, okay, the definition of a spiritual person is the one who meditates every day. A spiritual person is the one who reads spiritual books every day. And a spiritual person is the one who contemplates, who introspects what is truth, what is Maya, what is Nitya, what is Anitya. Every day he contemplates. And every day he is in that consciousness. When you're doing these three things, you are a spiritual person, my dear friend. If you're not doing these three things, then you are not a spiritual person. And these three things you have to do throughout your life. Throughout your life. You might be enlightened, but still you have to meditate every day. Because some people have this misunderstanding that once you're enlightened, that's it. It's finished. Your journey is finished and that's all. There are, again, three stages in enlightenment. Enlightenment before enlightenment, the actual enlightenment, and enlightenment after enlightenment. When you have the quest to know the truth, when you have the quest to know yourself, that means you are in the first stage, enlightenment before enlightenment. With the intense sadhana, with the intense svadhyaya, with the intense sajjana sangatya, and with contemplation of what is nitya and anitya, you get into the actual enlightenment. You experience that you are not the body. You experience that you are not your mind. You experience that you are pure consciousness. That is actual enlightenment. You realize that there is no death. You realize that you are an eternal being. Practically, you realize it, not theoretically, practically, with your own sadhana. So that is the actual enlightenment, the second stage. And then there is enlightenment after enlightenment. So even though you are enlightened, you have to meditate every day. You have to read books every day. You have to be in Sajjana Sangatyam every day. Because this is enlightenment after enlightenment stage. In the enlightenment after enlightenment stage, you are not only working towards your enlightenment, you are also working towards others' enlightenment. There is so much to learn in the enlightenment after enlightenment stage. As I told you yesterday, there is individual enlightenment and there is stellar enlightenment. Individual enlightenment is the second stage. Stellar enlightenment is the third stage, enlightenment after enlightenment. It's a huge journey. It's a quantum leap. Enlightenment after enlightenment is such a great journey. But many people misunderstand that once you realize yourself, that's it. That is the final lifetime. No. You have to come back again and again. Even though you are enlightened, you have to be born again and again until you achieve that stellar enlightenment stage. You have to come back again and again to teach others. Just because you are enlightened doesn't mean your journey is finished. You have to help towards others' enlightenment. That is enlightenment after enlightenment. Jesus Christ said, "In my Father's kingdom, there are many, many mansions." In my Father's kingdom, there are many, many mansions. So he was referring to many, many galaxies and star systems. Many, many mansions. So he was speaking about the stellar enlightenment. So the most important point to remember is everyday meditation is a must. Even though you are a great master, even though you are the most senior meditator, you have to meditate every day. No choice for you. You have to. Some people have the misunderstanding. Oh, I have meditated a lot. Now my purpose is only to teach. Yeah, you are teaching, but simultaneously you have to meditate. That's an everyday affair. If you don't meditate every day, then you cannot be a great teacher. You can be a teacher, okay, no doubt, but you cannot be a great teacher. To be a great teacher, you have to meditate every day. You have to read books every day. And you have to be open-minded because there's so much to learn, so much to experience. So you should always be open-minded to learn from everybody. The more you are enlightened, the more you are open-minded to learn from everybody, to learn from everything. The more you are enlightened, the more you are humble. So these are the qualities of enlightenment. I'll tell you the few qualities of enlightenment. You can write down one by one. The more enlightened you are, the more humble you are. The more enlightened you are, the more simple you are. The more enlightened you are, the more open-minded you are. The more enlightened you are, the more sensitive you are towards your own body. To be sensitive to your body means you feel like taking rest, you take rest. You feel like sleeping, you sleep. You feel like eating, you eat. You are sensitive to your body. You respect your body. The more enlightened you are, the more sensitive you are to your own body. The more enlightened you are, the more you are in the middle path. You are not in vairagya. The more enlightened you are, the more you are in the middle path. The more enlightened you are, the more you are childlike. The more enlightened you are, the more you are in celebration. So these are the qualities of enlightenment. So the core of spirituality is everyday meditation, everyday reading books, everyday reflection, self-reflection. You have to reflect yourself. I've come to the earth. What am I doing on the planet Earth? Am I doing my dharma? Am I living my life purpose? You have to introspect every single day. That's how you make sure that you are not wasting your time and you are in the right course of action. So this forms the core. And it is the practical spirituality which is more important. Theoretical spirituality is important, but practical spirituality is much more important. Practical spirituality. What is practical spirituality? Practical spirituality means you exhibiting the qualities. You are living the truth. Practical spirituality means you are living the truth. Theoretical spirituality means you understand the truth. Practical spirituality means you are living the truth. For example, compassion. To be compassionate is practical spirituality. To be tolerant is practical spirituality. What is tolerance? For example, in your family, you have become a vegetarian. You have come into the meditation path and you become vegetarian. And other people still are eating meat. So you don't judge them. You understand that they will also change one day. Like you have changed, they will also change. You be tolerant. You be tolerant to everybody within your family, and you be tolerant to your neighbors, your colleagues, even though they are in a different path, even though they are not as sensitive as you are, even though they are not as compassionate as you are. You be tolerant. So you be tolerant with everybody, meditator, non-meditator. You be tolerant with everybody. So this compassion and tolerance is practical spirituality. You are a compassionate person. You are compassionate towards all living beings. This is what all the great enlightened masters also say. Even Muhammad also said the same thing in Quran. To be compassionate to all the human beings and all the living creatures. This is a statement of Muhammad. to be compassionate to all the fellow human beings and to all the creatures. So, if you are a compassionate person, that means you are in the path of non-violence, non-killing. You are a compassionate person. You are a kind person. So this is practical spirituality. And you are not compassionate for the sake of others. You are compassionate for your own sake. Always being in the state of surrender is practical spirituality. You don't surrender to another person. You see, many people misunderstand the word surrender. You don't surrender to the other person. You don't surrender to anybody. You surrender to the truth. You surrender to the truth because truth liberates you. Write down in bold letters. Truth liberates you. Or in other words, only truth liberates you. Your liberation happens because of your own realization of the truth. So you surrender to the truth. So when you are in the truth, then you are in the path of Dharma. In the path of Dharma means you are doing the right thing, righteousness. Dharma means righteousness. You are doing the right things towards yourself and towards others. When you're doing the right thing towards yourself, that is Swadharma. When you're doing the right thing towards others, that is Paradharma. Practical spirituality. If you are a practical spiritual person, then you are in the path of Dharma. And then again, a practical spiritual person means to be a brahmachari. Brahmachari means a person who doesn't forget that he is soul, he is Atma. He is from the Brahman, he is from the creation, he is God, he is part of God. You don't forget that you are part of God, you are God. Like the baby of a tiger is by default a tiger. The baby of a tiger becomes a tiger. The baby of a tiger doesn't become a dog. As father, as son, as mother, as daughter. Similarly, we are all the children of God. How can we not be God? So, not to forget this, to always remember this, that we are pure consciousness. Always to remember that we are part of God. We are part of God consciousness. And everybody is God. That is Brahmacharya. To live in the eternal truth. And Ishvara Pranidhana. This is practical spirituality. Ishvara Pranidhana means to see God in everybody. That is practical spirituality. Not to forget that you are God and to see everybody else as God. That is Ishvara Pranidhana. Whoever you meet, you have quarrel with somebody, you have disagreements with somebody, you have a fight with somebody, but still don't forget he is God. You see God in everybody. You disagree with somebody, it's okay. You can disagree with them, no problem. But he is also God. See God in them. That is Ishvara Pranidhana. See God in everybody, in all your family members, colleagues, strangers, neighbors, anybody, every person you meet, you see God in them. Every creature, you see God in them. Trees, mountains, river, everything. You see God in everything. You see God in the whole creation. That is Ishvara Pranidhana. This is practical spirituality. So it is this practical spirituality which becomes your benchmark. Whether you are in the right spiritual path or not, whether you are progressing in your spiritual path or not, you can reflect, you can introspect based on the practical spirituality. When you are practically spiritual, when you see yourself that you are practically spiritual, that means you are in the right spiritual path. You're becoming more compassionate, you're becoming more kind, you're becoming more tolerating, you're becoming more accepting. That means you are growing spiritually. You see yourself as God, you forgive yourself and you forgive others. That means you are growing spiritually. Again, forgiveness is a great practical spirituality. You're able to forgive yourself for all your mistakes, and you're able to forgive others, and you are ready to move on. So that means you are growing spiritually. Your third eye, your astral travel, your siddhis doesn't denote your spiritual growth. It is your practical spirituality which will tell you about yourself, that whether you are in the right path, whether you are growing spiritually, or whether you are stuck somewhere. You might have a great third eye. You might have the gift to speak to star beings. You might have the gift to interact with many astral masters. You might have the gift to heal others. You might have the gift to see others' past lives. You might have the gift to see the aura of a person. But it doesn't mean anything. But if you are a compassionate person, you are a forgiving person, you are a tolerant person, you are a loving person, you are a friendly person, that means you are a great person, you are a spiritual person. How many lokas you traveled doesn't matter. How you live on the planet Earth, that matters. This is practical spirituality. How you are living your everyday affair. You are not feeling yourself as special. You are not wearing any kashaya, or you are not having the beard, and you are making any special appearances around you, wearing malas. That is not spirituality. But you are a normal person. You are a simple person. You are in samsara. You are married, and you are in the family life, normal family life. You are having children. Whether you have children or not, that is your choice. But at least you are in samsara. You are not escaping the life. You are in samsara. Inside in samsara, while you are in the family, while you are in the marketplace, you exhibit the practical spiritual aspects. Then you are highly enlightened. The highest enlightenment happens in samsara. You can go to Himalayas and meditate and become enlightened. But the highest enlightenment happens after you come back from Himalayas and you are in samsara, then only the highest enlightenment happens. Again, there are three stages in a human evolution. There are three stages. The first stage, they focus only on physicality. They take many, many, many lifetimes, and their focus is only money, family, children, name, fame, power, authority, control, all physical. Like this, they take many, 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 many lifetimes. That is the first stage, where their motto, their mission is only physicality. That is the first stage. And then they have seen enough of physicality. So they get vexed. And then the search begins. What is this life? I have everything, but still something is empty inside me. So what is this life? Everything seems to be a maya. So what is the meaning of life? So then the fundamental questions starts. Then they get into the second stage of life. In their soul evolution, they get into the second stage, where their focus is only on the truth. Their focus is only on truth. They will be born and they will contemplate, and they will be reading books, they will be going to lectures, they will be going to seminars, or they will be doing sadhana. And sometimes they escape from family lives, they run into some forest and meditate, or they join some monasteries, or they go to Himalayas and meditate. They like to be in seclusion. They are not interested in job, they are not interested in marriage, they are not interested in children. Their only focus is spirituality, spirituality, spirituality. They want to know the truth. That is the second stage. In the second stage, they will know the truth. With their intense sadhana, they will know the truth. But that is not the end of it. Then comes the third stage. So again, they will be born. And in the third stage, they have to be in the middle path. They have to be a samsari, and they have to do a job. They have to get married and have all the normal person, whatever the normal person does, the samsara, having job, children, earning money, feeding the family, paying the bills, going through all the normal things. And along with that, they have to be meditative. Along with that, they have to be spiritual. And if they exhibit this practical spirituality in samsara, they are highly enlightened. See, it is like this, you have a new car, and you bought a new car, and you have covered it, and you have parked it in your garage. Will there be any dust? Even after 2 years, 3 years, because it's a brand new car, and you have covered it well, sealed it, and you put it in the garage. No dust will be there. But you take the car and go around the marketplace, go into busy road, traffic, pollution, and when you come back, there is a lot of dust. So a person who is sitting in Himalayas where there are no humans, no people, fully covered with snow, fresh air, a lot of herbs full of oxygen. So for that kind of a person, to be compassionate, to be kind, to be gentle, and to have a smile on the face, it's so easy. So for a person sitting in Himalayas, it's easy for him to exhibit all the practical spirituality. But the same person, to be in the marketplace, to be surrounded with all kinds of challenges of samsara, and still he is having a smile on the face, still he is compassionate, still he is forgiving, that is real nirvana. That is the highest enlightenment. So spirituality is not about escaping life. Spirituality is about living life to the fullest. So everybody has to go through the second stage, and then they have to come to the third stage. And it takes many lifetimes, It takes many, many lifetimes. But the samsara is a must. Only in samsara the nirvana happens. To be in samsara means to be a simple person, to be a humble person, to be a normal person. And there is no feeling special. You are one among the many. To be special is not special, but to be ordinary is extraordinary. So this is the core essence of spirituality. The core essence of spirituality is to be humble, to be normal, and to be compassionate, to be kind, and to be an inspiration, to be a living example. You might fall up and down in this process. Doesn't matter, because it takes many lifetimes. As I said, this enlightenment journey is not one lifetime, it takes many lifetimes. You do your best. And every day you focus on, are you doing your best or not? Are you doing your best? Yes, that is good enough. If you are not doing your best, then there is something you need to reflect upon. So, my dear friends, in this spiritual journey, there are many things to be understood. There is many things to be realized. And again, there are layers and layers of understanding. Sometimes people ask this question, Sir, I thought I have a lesson and I thought I learned that lesson, but still the same challenges comes in my life. For example, a lesson of forgiveness, or a lesson of compassion, or a lesson of money, or the lesson of relationships, whatever it might be. So I thought I learned that lesson, but again the same challenges are coming. Why? The challenges coming because you might have learned the lesson, but you have not yet mastered it. So the challenges come to you. So it is like this, in the beginning, you get to understand the lesson, and then you learn the lesson, and then you master the lesson. So the challenges in your life, they come so that you master it. You master the lessons. And how do you know what lessons to learn? Nobody will tell you. When you still your mind, you will know what lessons it is. When you still your mind, your consciousness, your soul will speak to you through inner voice. Intuition. Your intuition will tell you this is the lesson you are going through. So, this Sajjana Sangatyam plays a very, 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 very important role. In whatever the lokas you go, whether you go to astral worlds or mental worlds or causal worlds, any loka you go, it is a Sajjana Sangatyam which will help you. When you interact with an enlightened master, or you have a spiritual debate among the truth seekers, this is called Sajjana Sangatyam. So, in this Sajjana Sangatyam, you will question, you will debate, you will understand. And with that understanding, you are helping yourself to grow. It is like this, you hear somebody speak about meditation. You hear somebody speak the benefits of meditation, and you want to experiment on meditation. So it is because you heard the benefits of meditation. You heard how to meditate. So you got the benefit of it. So you practiced it. You heard somebody saying, oh, this book is a great book. I learned so many things. And then you read that book. You read that book because you heard about that book from somebody. Okay. You heard about the lessons, the soul lessons. You heard about what is practical spirituality. And then you introspected. So it is the Sajjana Sangatyam which will help you. Some people, in the name of spirituality, they become isolated, they become closed. Then that is, they're not helping themselves. So whenever you hear any master speaking, even though it is a known concept, so for example, you know law of karma. You have heard it 1,000 times. You think you know everything, but still you don't know many things. You have to keep listening to the truth again and again and again. Because there are many layers to be understood. There are many dimensions to be understood. The same truth, but you can understand in many, many dimensions. You should not let your spiritual ego hinder your process. Spiritual ego means, what is spiritual ego? The definition of spiritual ego is, if you think I know everything, then you have spiritual ego. The moment you think I am great, I am special, you have spiritual ego. If you think you are special, you are stuck in the spiritual ego. If you think you know everything, you are stuck in the spiritual ego. So, my dear friends, it is important, it's very important to listen to the truth again and again and again. As long as you are in the physical body, there is something for you to learn. Underline this point. As long as you have breath, As long as you have breath, you have something to learn. So this is the core of spirituality. So now I'll take few questions and then we'll continue from there. So when you ask a question, make sure that you're asking the question which is very useful for you in your journey. Okay. Please raise your hands and we will unmute one by one. So, Anupama.
Namaste, Pradeep Ji.
Namaste, madam.
First
so
of
you
all,
please introduce yourself, where you are from, your name, where you're from.
My name is Anupam and I am from Toronto, Canada.
Yes, ma'am.
I have been introduced to you in 2021 with your series of karma, 3 hours, 2 sessions. And I went on and on and on. I kept on listening those 2 sessions and I was able to sort out some of my life. For the last 3 years, I have been listening to your each and every video. I'm doing cooking, I'm doing cleaning. That video is in my house playing loud. My kids are irritated. Every day we're listening the same thing. I said, listen to this, something, you will get something out of it when you're old. But anyways, you have played an immense role in my life for the last 3 years. Mindfulness, meditation, you taught me how to teach people meditation, and I have been helping others to learn meditation. How to sort out your karma, how not to intervene in others' karma. I can go on and on how you have helped me. Today, my question is how we know that we have completed a karmic account or started a new one.
Okay, thanks for sharing. First of all, how do you know that you have completed your karma? If there is no more challenges in your life, you are happy in your life, then your karmic account is done, finished.
But how do we help somebody, we go together and we pay for a coffee for the next person in the car. How do we know that we are paying a debt for the next person which we had accumulated in one of the births, or we have started a new one?
Okay, so karma, maybe I'll do another sequence of karma, right? That will be more interesting. But to answer your question now, karma is a beautiful tool, right? It is not fear-based. Anything you do, see the very understanding of karma, how you understand karma and how you integrate the concept of karma in your life, it should not be fear-based. It should be based on love.
Okay.
If you do anything out of fear, then you haven't understood karma. You haven't understood the law of karma. So don't do things out of fear. Do things out of love. Like you want to help somebody, right? Help them out of love. But don't help them out of fear that, oh, if I don't help that person, the karma will come to me, right? So that fear should not be there. Or if I don't do service, then I'll have more problems in my life. I better do some service. So this is all fear-based. If I don't do this, something bad will happen to me. Oh, I have done some sin in the past life. I have done some sin, right? So I have to do some punya. I have to do some service in this lifetime, or else I'll suffer, or else the next lifetime I will suffer. So all these things are fear-based, and it is not correct. It's not the right understanding. So karma should be based on the love. Past is past, but today is in front of you. The present moment is in front of you. So you feel like doing service, you do it. You do it out of joy. You do it out of love, not out of fear. You want to help somebody, you help somebody out of compassion, out of joy, out of love, but not out of fear. Oh, if I don't help him, that will come back to me. That fear should not be there. Do it out of compassion, out of love. That's the first and foremost point. And second, as I would have stressed many times, karma is not a punishment system. It is a learning tool. Whatever might be the challenges you get in your life, it is not a punishment for you. It is through that challenge, there is something for you to learn. And your soul has planned for it so that you can learn something. So instead of focusing on the challenges, focus on what is the lesson I can learn. So every challenging opportunity in your life, you consider it as a learning opportunity. So then what happens? There is no more complaints in your life. There is no more comparison. There is no more comparison. There is no more complaints, you just focus on, oh, okay, then the acceptance comes very natural. Okay, I'm going through this challenge, that's fine, I accept. But there is a solution also. For every problem, there is a solution. For every problem, there is a solution. There is no problem without a solution. If God has given you a certain burden, that means you are capable to handle that burden. If God has given you a certain challenge, that means you are capable to handle that challenge. If you're not capable, then you wouldn't have got it in the first place. So that means every challenge in your life, you are capable to handle it. That is the most important point to remember. Every problem in your life, you are capable to handle it.
Okay.
So with that understanding comes strength. With that understanding comes, okay, so I look for the solution. I will look for the lessons and I will handle it. So simultaneously, you are learning the lessons and you are handling the challenges. And here comes the beauty. When you are handling the challenges, then that means your creativity is in the full force. Your awareness is to the highest. So when your awareness is to the highest and you are facing all the challenges and you are having a solution for that, out of nowhere, out of the box, you got a solution. So that means that is your creative aspect of it. All the greatest inventions are out of necessity because there was a challenging situation. So whenever there was a challenging situation, a beautiful invention came out from all the scientists. Necessity is the mother of all inventions, great inventions. So every challenge gives you an opportunity to show your creative side. Right? So don't fear challenges. But at the same time, don't ask for challenges. So whatever the challenges which is in front of you, you handle it with ease and grace. Okay. And so the first point we discussed it is do it out of love. Anything and everything you do is out of love. And the second point is accept the challenges because there is something for you to learn. And at the same time, there is something for you to express your creative side, your beautiful side. And the third point, anything and everything you do it from a space of detachment. Okay. So, for example, you want to buy tea or a coffee for somebody. Don't feel that I am buying it. It is coming through me. I'm just a witness.
Okay.
The help is coming through me. I'm not doing it. So you want to help somebody. Somebody is in a problem and you are helping that person. Don't think that I am doing it. If you think that I am doing it, then you are entangled in the karma. Even though it is an act of help, then it's a good karma, but still you are entangled in that good karma. So when you are entangled, that means you have to take one more lifetime to enjoy the benefits of your good karma. Okay. If you do bad things, you have to take one more lifetime to pay back. If you do good things, you have to take one more lifetime to enjoy the good deeds. Both are like a chain. Bad karma is like an iron chain full of rust. And good karma is like a golden chain with full of diamonds. But both are chains.
Both are chains.
Okay. So the way to come out of the karmic chain is to be in a witness consciousness. You have to underline this word, witness consciousness. So how do you get into the witness consciousness? Is when you're in detachment. Anything you do, you just detach that I am not doing it. It is happening through me. So when you take away the me and mine, I did it. It's me. It's my house. I built it. It's my house. It's mine. My husband, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. So it's that if you take off that me and mine, then you are out of the karmic loop.
Thank you. And on this note, you told in one of the sessions to write your journal in third person. You were answering to someone, Meena Patel, that, Meena Patel is angry, Meena Patel is sad. I have started doing that. Within 1 week, I have seen immense change in myself. Thank you so much for all the wisdom you have imparted in your videos. They are very practical, very doable, and I cannot explain in words how much I have changed in the last 3 years. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. So happy to hear from you that you have transformed. It's great. Okay. So next one. Okay. So Madhavi.
So good evening, sir.
Yes, madam. So you have. Yeah. Good evening.
I'm Madhavi from Germany, and today I'm in Stuttgart, not my hometown. Yeah, I have one question, sir, regarding yesterday's session. You asked us not to interfere in anyone's or any situations. So could you please elaborate a little bit more about when I can interfere, or I should never interfere, or is there any limit for me to get interfere? Because for an example, if I see two kids who are really fighting each other, they don't know because they are very innocent. They think that they are playing. But one is constantly beating the other. Whereas me in the middle, as a mom, I'm not the mom of the two kids, but as a mom, when I see, then for me, it is like I try to kind of interfere in them. So could you please take it out this?
So
Thank you.
first of all, you have to understand when someone is hurting somebody out of their own ignorance, and as a mother, it's your duty to go and interfere. It is not per se an interference, it is more of your duty. It is like this. When two children are playing with toys, okay, like a knife, toy knife, and they are trying to beat each other, it's okay, it's a play. Nothing danger is going to happen. But if one of them takes a real knife, goes to the kitchen, and one of the kid takes a real knife and thinks it is also a toy and trying to play, then the parents will not sit quiet. The parents will immediately go and stop it, immediately go and remove the knife. That is the duty of the parents. So interference in cases of emergency is allowed. It is not an interference, it is the duty. It is the duty of the parents. Okay. Every rule has an exception. As a rule, as a general rule, no interference. But in emergency cases, the interference is allowed. But when is the emergency situation? When to interfere? When not to interfere? So that is a $1,000,000,000,000,000 question. Nobody can answer. When to do, when not to do. What to do, what not to do. Nobody will tell you. So it will be, you have to use your intuition. You have to use your awareness and intuition. Okay. So it is a very final lesson. This non-interference is a very final lesson. It's not so easy. Unless you are highly aware, unless you are highly meditative, you cannot fully practice this non-interference. As a simple rule, you know what is non-interference. As a simple rule, you cannot interfere in others' affairs. You cannot interfere in others' freedom. If you interfere in others' freedom, your freedom will be interfered. If you interfere in others' affairs, and you will be interfered in your life. Okay, because we don't want to lose our freedom. Yes or no? Our freedom is more precious for us. So we don't want to lose our freedom. For everybody, freedom is very, very important. But if you interfere in others' freedom, then your freedom will be interfered. Law of karma. Non-interference. Similarly, we should not do others' homework. When another person is going through some illness, just because you are a great meditator, you have some healing powers, you have the gift of healing, you cannot go and interfere and place your hands on the head and do the healing, instant healing. That means you are doing others' homework. The other person has that problem, has that physical illness for a purpose. for some lessons to learn or to settle some karmic debts. But when you go and interfere, what happens? That karma will come into your account because you have interfered. So don't interfere in others' freedom. Don't interfere in others' affairs. And don't do others' homework. So follow these simple things. And more you will understand when you become more and more meditative. I'll give another example, quite common in the Indian families. The mother always interferes in the daughter's life. The parents always interfere in the children's life. Even after the daughter is getting married, the mother is always interfering. So they are enmeshed. Their emotions are enmeshed. Their happiness is enmeshed. The daughter thinks, if my mother is happy, I'm happy. If my father is happy, I'm happy. So they let the parents also to be interfered. So you cannot blame one side. It takes two hands to clap. So I'm not blaming the parents, or I'm not blaming the daughter, because they both are involved in that entanglement. So you should not be interfering. Once the children get married, the parents should let the children sort out their problems, because it's only when you give them the independence and the freedom, they might fight, they might do whatever they want, but they will come out of it and they will understand each other much more deeply. But if the parents interfere, then they're interfering in their understanding process. The bond between the husband-wife bond is disrupted. It becomes fragile. So you should not interfere in others' affairs. And don't interfere in others' freedom. For example, your children don't want to eat because they are feeling full. So you don't interfere and force them. No, you have to eat. The children are very sensitive. If they are hungry, they will eat. If they are not hungry, they don't want to eat. So you have to respect them. You're respecting their freedom. Whether to eat food or not, you respect the children's choice. So don't interfere in others' freedom also. So that's how you learn the non-interference. I can go on and on quoting many quotes, but I'm conscious of the time. It's already 10 o'clock. So I think we'll finish off here with this today. It's 10 o'clock in Europe, and I think there is a meditation session happening in UK, PMC UK. You please join the meditation session. But other people who have raised their hands will continue it tomorrow. Okay, so please remember your question and you raise the hands tomorrow, and we'll continue it tomorrow. Thank you very much. Namaste to all.